Hello, and thanks for joining me on another episode of Simply Saturday, where I get to show you a card that is fast and easy to make. My name is Julie, and this is Stamp with Julie Baum. The card that we're going to make today, I am making as a Halloween or an October themed card, and I am going to use some stamps out of this stamp set. However, the card that I'm going to show you, you can do for absolutely any occasion. You're going to pick some cardstock, some designer series paper, and either an image and some words, or maybe just words. You're going to see how fast this goes together. All right, I am starting with a piece of black cardstock, and it's 8.5 by 5.5. I have already pre-scored it down the middle at 4.25, and I'm going to just reinforce my fold with my bone folder. Now I have cut 4 pieces of designer series paper, and this paper is actually from the current mini catalog. I'm going to just give you a quick picture of what it looks like in the catalog so that you can see it for yourself. All right, it's called Them Bones, and it comes in a 12 by 12 pack. But again, you can do this card with any paper, any theme you want. So I've taken my designer series paper and I've cut 4 strips of papers that coordinate together. Now that's really easy to do when you've chosen them from a packet of papers because they're already designed to coordinate. So you just pick 4 of your favorites or the 4 that you're in the mood to use. So I have 4 pieces. Each of these is 4 inches long and 1.25 inches wide. So once you have your 4 pieces, you're just going to kind of lay them out in a design that looks good to you. And I want to point this one out. This particular paper that says Boo, the font that is used is very cute, but it's kind of top heavy. So it's very easy at a glance to use this paper upside down on accident. So be careful that you can read Boo and eek when you're using this paper. Okay, yeah, ask me how I know. All right, so I'm gonna try just kind of going black, orange, black, orange. Once you have your papers laid out in a desirable order, then you're gonna glue them down. So what I'm doing, this is kind of dry fit right now, then I'm gonna just take one of these middle ones off and start with it. That way it kind of keeps me straight and in good alignment without having to do any measurements or marking. All right, and then you'll see at the end of this video, I'm going to show you an option. This glue is not cooperating. I think it is just about gone. Let's pull in this one. I'm going to show you a card at the end that actually uses this option too, since I'm not using the little skeleton and bats on this card that I'm showing you. Okay, so I'm going to get my kind of black or gray background with the white bones. That's cute. Then I'm going to lay this one on. So to repeat myself, you can use any color background cardstock that coordinates with the paper. Use any paper that you have. This is a great way to use up some of those scraps. And honestly, I think this is a good card to make with some of those papers that maybe aren't your favorite, because it's not only featuring one paper. So maybe you love, so-so, and love. It's a good card to go ahead and use up some of that paper that isn't your absolute favorite. All right, now I can get the top and the bottom. And again, just kind of eyeballing all around, getting it as straight as I can, but I did not want to measure or make pencil marks on this fast and easy card. My favorite thing would be is if this inspires you today for you to make a card with entirely different papers, totally different colors and theme, and share it with me. I do have a private stamping group, and it's only private because I like to have people join that are truly into crafting and stamping and paper craft, which you're welcome to request how to join that. But I would love for you to make a card, take a picture, and share it with us as a group. That would be a lot of fun. I always love to see what you do with the inspiration that perhaps you're getting from my tutorials. All right, now for your words or your image, you can totally just stamp on like a piece of cardstock. So a white square, this is 2.5 inches square, perhaps a circle that you've punched or die cut, whatever you want. I did go ahead and die cut this shape. This is part of the matching dies, the coordinating dies. This has a little smudge on it. The coordinating dies from that stamp set that I showed you. So I went ahead and die cut that. I'm going to show you with this, but if you're going for even faster and you don't want to do it, just use a regular shape, okay? Don't even bother die cutting. I'm going to stamp Trick or Treat onto this shape. I kind of have been calling it a tombstone shape. It really isn't, but what would you call that? All right, so I'm going to get my Trick or Treat, and also I can hear some of you saying this to me out loud. I always stamp first and then die cut, but in the interest of saving time, I just went ahead and had this die cut ahead of time, and I'm stamping it afterwards, hoping that it comes out nicely. So if you've heard me in your ear, stamp before die cutting, yes, that is the best way to do it. Okay, then from here, perhaps grab some trim, twine, ribbon, something like that. I have a very small piece of our glittered organdy ribbon. This is just short of 6 inches. I'm going to fold it in half. Now, sometimes in crafting, this little shape is called a carrot, and I can't really tell you why, but it commonly is called a carrot, so I'm going to call it that too. So I'm folding this and putting it in the shape of a little ribbon carrot, and then I'm going to stick it to the back of my words like so. I want a little bit sticking out on this side and a little bit sticking out on that side. So I like how that looks. I'm just going to flip this over, and I'm actually going to hold it down with some tear tape. And had I been smart, I would have torn this before I got my ribbon in place, but I'm going to try to hold it. Okay, I'm actually going to put 2 pieces. This moved a little bit, so I'm just going to straighten it out like that. Okay, so I'm going to use my tear tape to hold this down to the back of my words. Let's do that one more time. That's a little large. And nobody is going to see that at all. Okay, then just a couple dimensionals. 2 is going to hold it just fine. You can add a few more if you feel like it needs it. And then this is going on the card. Now, my example that I'm showing you, it's just the words. If the card that you're going to make, if this is more of a focal image, perhaps a cute little critter or some flowers or whatever your image is, then you might also want to add some words on the front or not. So this is going to be, in my case, this is my focal image, my words. Otherwise, you're going to put yours on your paper, add your little bit of trim, and attach it to the card. All we need to do is put a little bit of sparkle or bling on this to finish it. I am really loving these adhesive backed sparkle gems. They're basically, I would call them gold, silver, and black. I'm not sure if that's the actual description in the catalog. And for this card, I'm going to use the black ones. So I'm just going to take my take your pick tool, and I'll get a large one, maybe put it up here, and 2 of the smaller ones, one here and one at the bottom. Okay, the gold or the white or the silver would have looked really cute on this as well. The sparkle in these is intense and beautiful. I just think it's a really nice accessory embellishment to have in your collection. Okay, so there we have it. Now the only thing I need is something on the inside because it is a black base, and this is going to be hard to put a message unless you have a chalk writer, a chalk marker. So I've got a piece of white cardstock, Keeping it easy, I'm going to stay with black ink. The same stamp set. I'm not adding anything different. I'm going to use eek, the words eek. And also some bats. All right, so let's talk about this. If you had done a floral paper and a thinking of you, then perhaps on the inside you would put another little flower and I love that we're friends, or just a note or something like that. If you wanted to do this as a fall card, you could choose your fall papers. This might say happy fall y'all, or might be a pumpkin image or a gourd, and then on the inside, happy Thanksgiving or I'm so grateful. So you see how you can use the exact same design to go any direction that you want. All right, so I'll put this on the inside. I'm also going to point out, this was a scrap of white cardstock that I had. It was about the right size for the inside of my card. It's not exactly perfect, but I'm gonna go ahead and use it. Okay, it's actually a little short, but I didn't want to waste it. And it is so close to being the right size that I'm just using it. You know, nobody is receiving your cards and opening them up and thinking about the measurements that you chose to use. I promise you that. All right, so we've got that on the inside. Here is the front, super fast, super easy. Here is the other one that I did along the same lines. This one I did on a pumpkin pie card base, and I also did it in a different direction. So this one opens this way, sideways, and this one opens top and bottom from the top. On this particular design, if you're going to do the 4 1/4 by 11 inch card base, then your designer series paper is 1 inch by 4 inches, and you will need 5 of them. There's that little skeleton paper that I mentioned before. In this case, I used the black organdy ribbon, which has since retired, and the white organdy ribbon is something that you can still get even today. So there is our easy card for the day. I really appreciate you stopping by. Below this video in the description box, I'll put all kinds of information, including the current host code and also some shopping links in case you want to know where I get some of my extra non-Stampin' Up products. And of course, you can find all of the Stampin' Up things at my online store. Thanks so much. See you next time. Happy stamping.